how can you adjust the price of an event because it's not selling while you're still selling, while you're in the midst of launching it or selling it? This is Reed Mahalka from readaboutsex.com and sexgeeksummercamp.com. And I'm Kathy Martelly from theintimacydojo.com.
Yes. Pondering. So one of the questions is, should you change the price? Which I'm assuming if it's not selling, you're not going to raise the price.
Probably not.
So the question is, should I lower my price if an event's not selling? Kathy Martelly, go. What would you do?
Well, we've had that happen. We've framed events and then either we found out another event was happening at a similar time, so a lot of people were out of town, or that just the way it was a brand new event, so we didn't know that it was going to, how well it would sell. We made our best guess. One thing we've done is offered coupons to certain lists, or just email, you've been to our events before, you can have this discount if you attend this event. So that's one thing we've done. But it's a challenging thing, especially if some people have already bought tickets. You may end up refunding money because you offer the ticket, the coupon, and someone that's already bought at the higher price may want it back.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here, you want my quick like Vulcan mind meld on this? Sorry, wrong hand motion. So a couple of things around the event situation. If you've already paid for the space, I'm going to assume that you can't cancel the event. What I am going to advise you to do is before you run an event, figure out for yourself what I call your kill date or your kill number, which is really, kill is such a probably not the best word, but it's, if I don't sell X number of tickets by this date, I am automatically canceling the event. And I set up my agreements for space rental and whatnot for that date, that time period, so that I can cancel and not pay a penalty. So ideally, I'm going to do all this work, all this promotion, and if I don't have enough ticket sales, I'm not going to be out anything other than refund the money. Do not spend the money yet, okay? Learn from my mistakes.
Well, sometimes it's very hard. A lot of businesses function that way.
Sure. It's
late. Yeah. I think it's actually that our dinner's on the way.
Our dinner's on the way. Yeah. So understanding how you set up your live events will help in case you need to pull the plug, and you're not trying to do this mad dash last minute scramble to try to make your event successful. The reason you don't want to do it that way, in my opinion, is too many events like that, and you really burn out and run yourself down.
Well, and your list will be, they're like, I'm not going to come because he's not going to have it.
And then you're also always changing your ticket prices. This is why changing ticket prices is really tricky. What you can do, just like you said, I think is useful to offer scholarships if you need to fill seats. So the question isn't about the value of my event and whether people can afford it. Those are legitimate questions. But if you're not really going to be like, this is an event that I figured out I need to charge $800 for to cover my costs, to cover my time, to cover whatever else I need to I need to pay people or whatnot. So for $800, all of a sudden it's like, if I charge $400, I throw the whole thing off because now I can't pay for other things. I can offer coupons to get people in seats, which can work if I'm going to sell more stuff at the event. Yeah. But if I'm not going to sell stuff at the event,
then you're kind of SOL.
Then what you're doing is you're training people to expect that you will lower your prices, and you don't want to do that. And maybe you want to cancel the event or postpone it, depending on your ticket sales. Or you want to run it as a small event and take a loss, because hopefully you also know how many tickets you need to sell to break even. And that's where you start to figure out where your cancel number is going to be. In some ways, so for me, I always want to be real close to breaking even, so that I know the rest of its profit. That makes it easier for me to be like, okay, now I don't have to cancel it. But you have to figure out that math, and then how you structure your event will help. And then at the same time, like, if you're selling other things at your event, you can give tickets away to friends of friends or people who, it's really tricky. You really open up a Pandora's box in some ways. And how can you give good value, take care of yourself, and also feel confident going forward?
What I've seen some of the bigger marketers do is sometimes they'll offer alumni for other events. Like, you've either been to this event or one similar. We're going to give you, you can pay a third of the price. At least bring some money in and fill some seats. Reduced price scholarships for if you like certain people and you think they'll add a lot of value to get them in there. Or if they can volunteer, like if they can offset some costs you'd have to have, like if you would normally hire someone to do camera or to cater, you can say, hey, if you do some of the cooking and cleaning, then you can come for free. So just kind of looking at other ways you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can think about lowering your costs in those ways as a reaction to ticket sales not going well. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, like, if you can lower your costs those ways and those are congruent for your values and work for you and your community or your resources, you should be doing that as you're designing that into, baking it into the cake, my friend.
Yes. And one other thing I've done to kind of help an event go is either try to live stream it or video record it and sell it afterwards. So, like, if I'm worried about the selling tickets, like, it may be hard to sell tickets for the actual dates if there's a conflicting date, event going on, like Burning Man. I've scheduled stuff that when it was like, oh, there's nobody in town. I did that twice here, and that was
and
very
you had
bad.
Nobody show up?
I had very few people show up. They were all at the burn.
Was it still worthwhile running the event?
Yeah. And if I could videotape it and then sell it later, or some of those people might like to see it, or I can offer it around the country where people can't necessarily fly out for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's other ideas that require you kind of designing in some other structures, bringing in other things like can I live stream it? And I'm going to release the live stream tickets last minute because
you want the people in the seats.
Because I want people in the seats. Those are things that are better. I mean, everything's better done ahead of time, right? Designing it into the program, baking it into the cake. And sometimes you can come up with creative solutions and pull them out of your ass last minute and everything's great. Another thing that you can do, especially when you're running an event for the first time, is you can run it as a beta test and tell everybody you're going to offer it at a lower price
for the first
time. Because this is the beta test. And you're going to lower the price so that you can cover your costs, and your cost can include you paying rent, by the way, like your operating costs.
You do have to legitimately pay rent.
So you can lower the price, and then you're promoting that people can come and get it on the cheap, but that you raise the price the next time you run it. And then that is something when you have your people there, ask them at the end in your like survey and stuff, if you do that kind of thing, like would this have been worth, the original price? Like I want to feel it out from you if just in case I'm way off. And again, like if you're changing people's lives, that is priceless. Not everybody has $40 for a workshop,
or 300 or 500 or
800 for a weekend or whatever those prices are. And you can wrestle with those kinds of pricing strategies as you move forward, but what you want people to be saying is that this program changed my life, because from there you can create magic and you can do some really cool things business-wise too.
Yeah. Thanks very much. We'd love to have, if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them below.
Please do.